Yo, what's up guys, Joe here. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to an RTX 3060 full build guide. So this is actually the third 3000 series build guide here on the channel that we've done. The previous ones we've done was with the 3080. That was rocking a Halo Funko Pop and a blue and yellow color theme. Then the other one we did was an RTX 3070 build with a Mew Funko Pop and a pink color theme. So feel free to check those out if you haven't already. But today we have a lot going on for us here because we're gonna be building a PC with a Siege theme. This is a limited edition NZXT Rainbow Six Siege case, which I'm really pumped about because I'm just excited to open it, guys. When I am playing games, Siege is definitely one of the games I'm playing most of the time. So yeah, a lot going on today. But right now, how we're gonna break down this video, it's gonna be broken down into 3 parts. So first, we're gonna be building the PC step by step. Then second, we're gonna jump into the installation of stuff. This includes our Windows 10 operating system, any drivers we need, and then other extra stuff we need to do. And then last, at the very end, the grand finale, we're gonna be putting our rig to the test against a lot of titles. This includes, of course, Siege, Valorant, Apex Legends, and Modern Warfare multiplayer. We're gonna throw that in there too. All right, guys, so let's jump into the price situation. Boom, up on the screen. Every single price you see right there, that's what we paid for the parts, except for the graphics card, as I mentioned in the other guide. So right now, all the graphics cards are out of stock. And if you find one in stock and you cop it, you're one of the lucky few because you just got your graphics card for a good price. For the rest of us, we have to resort to alternatives, such as buying our cards off eBay. And when you cop them off eBay, they're like double or triple the price, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, the situation right now sucks. It's not gonna be like that forever. Eventually, cards will be back in stock. Right now, that's not the case. Depending on when you're watching this video, maybe they are back in stock. With all that aside, I'm really pumped for today's build, the Siege build. Let's do it. First, we're gonna be working with our motherboard and our CPU. So let's get them out of their boxes. And inside of here, we're gonna want our I/O shield of our Wi-Fi antenna, motherboard, and these screws to install our storage, our SSD. So we went with an ASUS motherboard, guys. It's rocking the X570 chipset, has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, a lot of good ports, optical audio, USB 3.0, USB Type-C. It's all good, you're covered here. This is the same board we used for the 3080 build. So for our Ryzen 5 5600, it does come included with a stock AMD heatsink, and I am gonna be showing you guys how to install it. This will not be our final cooling solution. What we're actually gonna be installing and leaving in there is the Kraken Z53 AIO cooler. So this thing's really cool, guys, because it has a screen. So we're able to put any custom GIF we want in there. It's gonna look dope. This is optional. We don't need to use this cooler. You can very well just use the stock cooler and you'll be just fine. The only reason I went with this is just because since we have a limited edition case here, I just wanted to just have it look really cool. Totally not necessary. It just looks awesome. All right, guys, so taking a close look at our CPU, on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little golden arrow. And if we take a look at our CPU socket on our board, the top left of it has an arrow. So to install our CPU, we're gonna pull the lever out and all the way up, and then line up the arrow of the CPU with the CPU socket arrow. And when we have it lined up, we're then just gonna let it drop into place. Like that, it's gonna fall right in. You don't wanna force the CPU by pushing it down because then you're gonna bend the pins. We definitely don't want that. So we're just gonna line it up and let it drop. And look, perfect, it didn't drop in right now. And that's okay. We're just gonna lift it back up and then just try again. And then boom, drops right into place. Let's put our lever all the way back down. So now we're gonna be unscrewing these 2 parts. So first we're gonna be installing the stock cooler. So our CPU heatsink already has the thermal paste pre-applied. So all we have to do is just line up the 4 screws with the 4 points on our motherboard. So let's line it up. So I got these lined up. I got these lined up. And now we're gonna screw opposite sides. So a little bit on this one and then go all the way across. A little bit of this one. So we're just gonna put it on the desk. All right, cool, that's attached. And this one. All right, that's good. And now I'm just gonna keep screwing until it doesn't let me screw anymore. There's a safety feature on it, so you can't over tighten this. So it's fully secure, and now what's left is connecting the fan to the CPU fan header on our motherboard, which is right here, and it's the colored gray. And it should look like that. Of course, then just tucking your cable, make it look neat. So boom, guys, that's the installation of a stock AMD heatsink. Gonna get this thing removed and clean up the thermal paste now. So we got the stock AMD heatsink off, we got the thermal paste off our CPU, and we are gonna be installing this, but not yet. So I reattached one of these and just screwed in one of the screws just to hold this piece into place because we are going to need this to install this. Now we're gonna be installing our RAM. Well, with 16 gigs of CORSAIR Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. This kit's rated at 3600 megahertz. We have 2 sticks and we want them to run in dual channel mode. So we're gonna be putting them in every other slot. So let's pull the gray lever back and the other gray lever back. And the RAM only goes in one way, so we wanna make sure we line up the indent correctly with the motherboard. So once we get it into place, then I'm just gonna push down with both of my thumbs on opposite sides, even pressure, and this will clip back up, and this thing will also go all the way in. Same thing for the second stick. Just gonna put it into place and then push down. Done, RAM's installed. Now let's move on to the installation of our SSD. So we have ourselves here a 1 terabyte Western Digital Black M.2 drive. So this little guy is gonna go right here. But first, we need to install a standoff for it that came with the board. So there's 4 points right here, and we're gonna put our standoff into the second one. Just screw it in. So now we're ready to put it in and secure it with the screw. So we're just gonna let it sit on the standoff. Done. So you're not gonna be disappointed with this little drive's performance. It's gonna load up games quickly, and Windows 10 is also gonna start up fast. All right, guys, time to put our motherboard into our case. Here we go. You guys ready? You guys ready? Here we go, it's officially open. So looking at the top, we have the nice big old Siege logo here, and this thing actually lights up, so that's super awesome. So we take a look at one of the sides. It says H510 Siege Limited Edition, and the H510 actually retails for $70. So you can get this exact same case for that price, it just won't be the Siege version. Let's take a look over here. NZXT x Ubisoft. Calling all operators, Ubisoft and NZXT have teamed up to bring you the limited edition H510 Siege. The H510 I'm out of breath. Limited production of 500. Here we go. Whoa! I don't know, just seeing this, I was just like, I don't know, it just excites me, man, it's awesome. Ooh, check this out. See how it's all scraped up? I love that. If we take a look at one of the panels, it's also scraped up in the front, the illuminated logo. Got a nice tempered glass side panel, Siege logo here, and a reinforced wall. Gotta get the loot from inside. Okay, so take a look back here. We're gonna find our breach charge, if I am correct. All right, guys, check this out. What? This is dope. It's rubber, guys, but it has a really strong magnet. Okay, so we'll use the front of the case for an example. Let me get a headset. Okay, we have a Logitech headset. Boom, just hangs there nicely. All right, fam. First things first, we're gonna install our I/O shield. Just gonna line up our I/O shield in the backside of our case and clip it in. Make sure the positioning is like this. So before putting any motherboard inside of your case, you wanna make sure that all the points on the board line up with the motherboard standoffs inside of your case. So this is an ATX form factor motherboard, one of the most common, and all the standoffs inside of our case are already in the ATX layout. We're ready to put it in. So when lining up our board, I like to put it in at an angle, and first we're gonna line up the ports with the I/O shield. And once I got the ports nice and correctly lined up, then I like to line up the middle motherboard standoff. Boom, done. So now we have to secure the 3 standoffs on top, 2 in the middle, because this one doesn't need it, and then 3 on the bottom. Let's get the screws out. Oh guys, literally just opening this up. It comes with this too, I totally forgot about this accessory. We'll stick it to the tempered glass side panel at the end. So I'm gonna be using the 632 screw flat bag. All right guys, our motherboard's secure. Time to install our CPU cooler, Kraken Z53. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna be securing our fans and our radiator to the bracket inside of our case. So now let's get it out. And we know that this is the top position of it. We're going to flip it, and we're gonna get the radiator and put it right underneath it. And we want the hose to be on the top side of the bracket. So now we're gonna put one fan on top, and we want the cable of the fan to be on the side that does not have the screws. This is the screw side, we want it on this side. So for the second fan, again, this position, not this position. So let's do one fan first. So we're gonna line up all 4 points of the radiator. So we're gonna be securing it with these big screws. So let's go ahead and just put the washer through it and get it through our fan. So what I like to do is line up the point of the radiator through the bracket and then just line up the screw. So once we get one in, it starts to hold everything in place for us. All right, I'm gonna do these 2 now. And I'm just turning till then the screwdriver stops. I don't wanna over tighten it. Same thing for our second fan. All right, done, it's ready to go. Now we're ready to put this back into our case. So I'm just making sure the fan cables are going through the back of the case, and then I'm just gonna put this thing in. There we go. It's secure. All right, cool. It's looking really clean so far, guys. Now we're gonna attach our pump to our CPU. First, we need to remove the retention bracket. The one that's currently installed is for Intel. So to get it off, we just have to twist it. And we're gonna put our AM4 one. So there, I pushed it all the way down and then twist it back. Done. It already has pre-applied thermal paste, so we just want to be careful not to smear that. All right guys, the first thing we want to do is set this thing free. So we're gonna get these screws from the AM4 bag, and we're gonna screw in this side. So now we're gonna align our brick onto the 4 points, and we're gonna secure it with the 4 thumb screws. We'll do opposite sides and the last 2. Now we're not gonna over tighten it, we're just gonna keep screwing until our screwdriver stops. That one's good. It's good. All right, done. Now we're gonna connect 2 cables to our AIO. First one is the USB 2.0 cable, and our second cable is the fan cable. So first, our USB 2.0 cable, it hooks up right into there. I'm gonna wire it to the back. Next is our fan cable. And this one has a lot more going on. This is gonna hook up to all our fans and the motherboard and SATA power cable. So the end is gonna hook up into here, push it in there. And again, wire everything to the back, except this cable, because this one's gonna hook up to our motherboard. We're gonna be hooking it up into our gray CPU fan header. It's gonna look like that, and 1 pin on the far left is gonna be exposed, that's fine. We only hooked up a 3-pin fan, that's why. So let's connect our USB 2.0 cable now. We wired it to the back, down over here, and we're gonna be hooking it up to a USB 2.0. And it only goes in one way. Let's move on to the back of our case. All right, so we'll move all our case cables to the side for now. All right guys, so now let's take a look at our fan cable. There's 3 different things that could connect to it. First is the SATA power cable. We're gonna be doing that later with the power supply. It's gonna power the AIO, of course. Second cable is our RGB LED strip cable to hook up an NZXT branded RGB strip. And then the one we're gonna be working with is the fan cable. So we're gonna be hooking up the 2 fans that came with the AIO to this cable. So in goes the first one and the second. And there we go, we're done with our AIO installation for now. So what we're gonna be installing now is our 750 watt NZXT gold rated power supply. It's fully modular, so less cable clutter. We're only gonna plug in what we need. So inside of our purple bag, we're gonna get, of course, the wall power. We're gonna wanna get out 1 SATA power cable for our AIO, AKA our CPU cooler. This build is actually gonna be using a Molex power cable as well, guys, because that is how the front Rainbow Six logo is gonna be lit up. Next is our single 24-pin power cable to power our motherboard. Then 1 PCI Express cable to power our RTX 3060. And then last 2 CPU cables. Oh, and the screws for the power supply. Now let's plug them all in. First, the 24-pin power cable. Goes right here. Right next to it, we're gonna plug in our CPU cable. We wanna plug in the side that says PSU. For our second CPU cable, same thing, the PSU side goes right here. So now in goes one of our SATA cables. And right next to it, I'm gonna plug in our Molex cable. You can plug in the SATA and the Molex power cable anywhere within right here where it says peripheral and SATA. And now taking a look where it says PCI Express, either one of these slots is where our graphics card power cable is gonna go. And once again, the side that says PSU. So we have a lot of cables going on here, but no worries, because we're gonna take it 1 cable at a time. So these stock cables of our power supply are gonna have to be shown in the front of our case, but these don't look as good. So we're gonna be replacing them with power supply extension cables. So originally this would connect to the motherboard. So now instead, this is gonna connect to our extension cable, and now this will connect to the motherboard. These custom sleeve power supply cables just provide a better look in the front, and these come in all sorts of colors, guys. They're linked in the video description. We're only gonna be connecting 2 of the extension cables. One for our 24-pin power cable, and then the other one for our PCI power cable, which is gonna power our graphics card. So this cable has 2 8-pin power connectors. We're only gonna be using 1 of them. That's it. And then this goes to our RTX 3060. All right, guys, so let's get this in there. So when installing our power supply, we wanna make sure that the fan is facing down. And we're gonna slide it in. And once we have it lined up, we secure it with the 4 screws it came with. So our power supply is gonna suck in cold air from the bottom and blow it out through here. The dust filter is under our case. Want to clean it out once in a while? Okay guys, we're almost done. Now I know this may look a bit overwhelming, like, oh my God, so many cables. But look, we're just gonna break down all our cables into 3 groups. The case cables, the power supply cables, and then the fan cables. Okay, so first we're gonna connect our case cables. These are gonna connect our power button, our USB port, our Type-C port, and our microphone and headphone jack. And also power our front logo so it can light up. So right now we're gonna connect 4 cables. So first one is our audio cable. It's labeled HD audio and it only goes in one way. So where it's missing a pin, I'm gonna line that up where it's missing a pin on our motherboard. In other words, the HD audio text facing up. Next one, USB 3.0 cable. That's this big blue one here. Again, only goes in one way. So this thing right here needs to line up with this down here. So actually, we're gonna flip it, line it up straight, and then push it in to not bend our pins. Perfect. Next one, this is our JFP1 cable. So we wanna line this up again where it's missing a pin. So we're gonna be plugging in this cable on the left side of all these pins. So as you can see right there, it's where it's missing a pin. So it should look like that, guys. And our 4th cable, our Type-C. It's gonna go in right here. So let's take this off. And again, guys, this cable only goes in one way. So now for the final case cable, we gotta move to the back. And that's this Molex cable here, which is gonna power our Siege logo. So now we just plug in any of these 3 Molex power supply cables to it. Make sure you plug it in all the way like that. And tuck it in. All right, awesome, good job guys. So we're done with one group of cables just like that. Next, we're gonna knock out our fan cables, which is pretty much these 2 fans that came included with our case. We need to connect them to the motherboard. We're gonna be using a fan splitter to do so. So if we take a look on the bottom of our motherboard, right next to our USB 2.0 cable, we have a system fan header. And that's where we're hooking up our splitter. So first, let's find the cables of our 2 fans. So here's one, and the second one. We're gonna hook them up to the fan splitter. So this is a 3-pin, so 1 and 2. Okay guys, we're almost done now. Last group of power supply cables. So what we're hooking up now is our CPU power cable, our 24-pin power cable, and then our graphics card power cable once our card's in here. And the last one is our SATA power cable to power our AIO. Let's do that now, actually. It's right in front of us. So here's the SATA cable that is connected to the pump and our SATA power cable from our power supply. Now we connect it to any of these, really, from our power supply. Done. Okay, next, our CPU cable. I'm gonna unscrew this fan to make more room when plugging these in. All right, we're gonna set this to the side. All right, first let's plug in the one on our left. So for our first cable, we're gonna be plugging it in right here, and that's only gonna be a 4-pin. So we're only gonna get one part of it, the left side of it, and it should look like this. Make sure that the clip clips in back here. Now for our second CPU cable, for that we are gonna be using all 8 pins in here. So we line it up and push it until it clips. There we go, it clipped, nice and secure. Just gonna tuck this in and put our fan back in. Now we re-secure the fan. Finished product. Next cable, the 24-pin. So the clip has to be on the right-hand side. Now we gotta push this sucker in until it clips. This cable took a bit more force. I had to hold it from the back of the motherboard and then grab onto it and push it in until it clipped. And then it should look like that, all the way in on the top and the bottom and the clip secure. And make sure you have it lined up correctly first before you're like trying to push it in. Okay guys, so this build has been very satisfying and we have now come to the end, the installation of our graphics card. So our RTX 3060, this one is by GIGABYTE and this one's called the Eagle. So originally this card is all black, but I spray painted it red, and then to match the theme of our build, I scraped it up to make it look aged and beat up. And that's just to match the theme of our case, because right here, red and scraped up. And the video ports it's rocking, 2 display ports and 2 HDMI ports. Let's get this guy in. So first we wanna make room for this guy. So we're gonna remove the 2nd and the 3rd brackets. Just gonna loosen up this back security plate. So here we go guys, we're gonna be putting in our card into the first PCI slot on our board. So we wanna pull the lever all the way back. And then with the fans facing the bottom, we're gonna line it up into our first PCI slot. And over here, our ports as well in the back of our case. And then we're gonna push it in. And the lever we pulled back will then clip back up. We're now ready to secure our card. All right, and now we gotta supply the juice. So 1 8-pin power cable, what it needs. There we go, it's ready. Now we need to install Bandit and some RGB strips. So here we go, guys. The unboxing of a Siege figure, which I've never done before. Here we go. Oh, you saw that? That was DLC. Use this code to unlock your unique in-game item. Here it is, guys. If any of you guys want it. Ah, it looks awesome. I love these little guys. He's gonna go up here somewhere. Oh my God, that looks so good. That tempered glass panel is so clean. So for our RGB cables, we're gonna put in 2 of them, and they're both magnetic. I'm gonna be sticking one right here on the side, and then the other one's up here. I'll link the strips in the video description. So now both of our RGB strips are connected to this cable. And then I wired this cable through the back of the case to here. So now if we look closely, we're gonna see an arrow. And we're gonna line up that arrow with the pin that says plus 12 volt. And now we're gonna connect it. There we go. So now we'll be able to customize the brightness, the colors, and the effects of these strips within our desktop. Now we're gonna attach our front panel. There it is, guys. Okay, cable management time. Showtime in the mirror, chief up for that wall, drop it with your eyelids, try again, violet, maybe success. I'm gonna flip our power supply on. Okay guys, first boot up. Woo, look at it, it looks so good, guys. So here is our finished product, our Rainbow Six Siege build of our Bandit figure, RTX 3060 Ryzen 5 5600X. Oh, and almost forgot, this right here is lit as soon as we press this button. Boom, it's so clean. I'm gonna break it. Okay guys, I can't wait till we start customizing the colors up in here. If you haven't turned on bell notifications for the channel, be sure to do so you can be alerted for the future builds that we're gonna be dropping here on the channel. A lot of fun projects coming up. So now we're gonna be installing Windows on here and then we're gonna start playing games. Let's do it. Alright guys, so we're going to be installing Windows 10 from a USB flash drive. I made a video on how to create one of these. It's linked in the video description, or you can just buy a Windows 10 flash drive from a retailer. Okay guys, so first we're going to boot up our system. So our system then is going to boot up to our BIOS. Once we arrive here, you know that you've done everything correctly and you're now ready to start installing Windows 10. But first, let's talk a little bit about motherboards and AMD 5000 series CPUs. So not all motherboards are compatible with AMD 5000 series CPUs right out of the box. So what I mean by that is that your system will not boot up to the BIOS until you update the BIOS version to a newer version that is compatible with AMD 5000 series CPUs. And that could obviously be a problem, right? Because then that means you have to take out your 5000 series CPU and put in an older series CPU, like a 3000 series Ryzen CPU, then update the BIOS, then take that out, and then put in your new CPU. You definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to tell you how to avoid it. Well, first off, if we go to the website of the motherboard we chose for this build, we go down to the BIOS versions and we'll go to the one we have right now, and it's version 0314, which is the oldest one, and it is compatible with 5000 series Ryzen CPUs right out of the box. If we go over here, right, and you choose a board, one may not be compatible out of the box. So what I would do is choose a board that is confirmed to be compatible right out of the box with AMD 5000 series, or at least make sure it has a BIOS flashback feature. So this is the board we chose, and it does have the BIOS flashback feature. So what the BIOS flashback feature does is it allows you to update your BIOS without actually booting up your system yet. And that's something you definitely want, because in the event that your 5000 series CPU is not compatible right out of the box and is not booting to your BIOS, you at least then have that feature to fall back on to then update the BIOS and then boot it up, and then you'll be good. So although our motherboard is already compatible with our 5000 series CPU, I'm still going to be showing you guys how to update to the newest version of the BIOS, and we're going to be doing it using the BIOS flashback feature. So more on updating the BIOS later. We're going to go ahead and turn off our system. I'm going to plug in our Windows 10 flash drive, and I'm going to boot it up. Once we restart our system, it's not going to boot up directly to the flash drive. So we're going to click next, install now. I don't have a product key. Next. I'm going to be installing Windows 10 Pro. Next. Quick swishy swish, and then a next. All right, so I'm gonna be selecting custom installation. Right here, if you had multiple drives installed on your PC, you would select what drive you want to install Windows 10 onto. We only have the M.2 SSD, so that's our only option. Select next. So now we're gonna let this do its thing, and then it's gonna restart our system. System has restarted, just let it do its thing. So our system has now restarted again for the second time, which is normal. Once we get to this screen, that's how you know our files have been copied over to our M.2 SSD. So we can disconnect the flash drive now. We're gonna select wherever you are. Yes, skip. So how I'm gonna be connecting to the internet is with an Ethernet cable. It's already plugged in, but it doesn't work yet because the driver has to be installed first. So more on that later. I don't have internet, and we're gonna tie to our PC something really simple. It's just 6. All right guys, so we made it to our desktop. Now this little thing down here is gonna automatically install our internet driver, aka LAN. We're gonna click yes. So as soon as this is done, then it should then pick up my internet connection from my Ethernet cable, and yep, there it is. Awesome. Yes. When we click yes to that pop-up, we also agreed to it to automatically install this program which controls our lighting, so then we'll be able to customize our RGB strips. All right, I agree. Accept. We take a look right here. Right now it's currently cycling different colors. I'm gonna go to static and I'm gonna pick a color. Okay, and there we go. Now it's only gonna be on that color. So a bunch of different effects and a bunch of different colors. You guys can play around with that however you like. Okay guys, so here's our installation guide checklist. First, we're gonna install motherboard drivers. Then we're gonna update the BIOS. Then we're gonna make our RAM run at its rated speed through the BIOS. Then we're going to install our graphics card drivers. And then last, we're gonna install a game. Okay, let's do it. First, we're gonna head over to the motherboard's website and we're gonna select Windows 10 64-bit, the only option. I will place a link to this in the video description where we're currently on. So first, our LAN driver, that was already installed automatically. Next, our Wi-Fi driver, we're gonna download it because this motherboard does have built-in Wi-Fi. You can access that by plugging in the antenna that comes with the motherboard. All right, save as, and I'm gonna save it to my desktop. Next, our AMD chipset driver, download. Everything's going to the desktop. Audio driver, yes. VGA, we're gonna skip that one. Now our Bluetooth driver, save as, desktop. Now under utilities, nothing that I want from here, so we'll skip that. SATA, we'll skip that too. And down here, this is the Armory Crate program, which is this that was automatically installed, guys. Now we saw in the beginning it installed for us, but say when it's installing, it were to fail for some reason, you can just come back here, download it, and then install it manually. Okay, now the last one we're gonna be downloading from here is our BIOS. So let's see all the versions. And we're gonna download the newest one, not the beta one though. We don't wanna mess with that right here. 3603, download. All right, cool, everything's done. So before we can install these, we have to first unzip them. So we're gonna right click, extract all, extract. And it'll pop up like that automatically. And here we have the same thing, but ready to be accessed now. We're gonna do the same thing for these. All right, here they are. So now we don't need these anymore. We could delete those. And let's start with the Wi-Fi driver. So we're double click, ASUS setup, yes. On to the next one, the AMD chipset driver, double click, ASUS setup, yes. Everything looks good, install. Okay, it's done. We're gonna restart our computer later, so close. Next one, our audio driver, ASUS setup, yes. All right, it's complete. And now our Intel Bluetooth driver, ASUS setup, yes. And that's it. That's just gonna pop up. It's gonna go away. It's done. That's all that happens. Okay, now let's update our BIOS. So we're gonna be putting in our BIOS file into an empty USB flash drive. But first, we want to rename it. So we're gonna double click this tool right next to it. Press any key to continue on our keyboard. And there, it renamed it. It's ready to go. Now we're gonna insert an empty USB flash drive. And now we're gonna drag in our new BIOS version into our empty flash drive. And let's exit that. So now we're gonna shut down our computer. All right, so once our system's off, we're gonna disconnect our flash drive. And we're gonna go to the back. And now we're gonna be hooking it up to where it says BIOS. And now we're gonna press and hold the BIOS flashback button for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Let go. And the light is gonna start flashing. That means it has started updating. Once it's done flashing, that's how you know it's been completed. So a couple minutes have passed and it stopped flashing. Now we can disconnect it. Now we can boot up our system again.
BIOS is updating LED firmware. It's normal, we just gotta wait. And while the BIOS is being updated, you wanna make sure that your system doesn't lose power, because if it does, it's gonna corrupt the BIOS. That's no good. All right, now we arrived here. It says press F1 to run setup. All right, awesome. And after updating, it just throws us right into the BIOS. So now we're ready to take care of our RAM. So right here, if we look at it, it's only running at 2100 megahertz. Remember guys, our kit is rated for 3600 megahertz. We want to get our money's worth, so let's update it. We're gonna head over to advanced mode, AI tweaker, AI overclock tuner. We're gonna switch auto to DOCP. If we take a look down here, our RAM's now gonna run at 3600 megahertz. Exit. Save changes and reset our changes that we're going to be making, and we're going to okay it. Cool. So BIOS updated, drivers installed, and RAM is set to what it's supposed to be set to. We can delete these drivers now. And if you ever want to access your BIOS, this is how you do it. We're going to restart our system, and once it's restarting, we're going to keep clicking delete on our keyboard, and it's not going to throw us right into our BIOS. So if we take a look, our BIOS version now has been updated to 0.3603, and our RAM is running at 3600 megahertz. Awesome. We can just put F10, save changes and exit. So okay. Awesome. Another way to check your RAM's running at its speed, we just click Control Delete, Task Manager, and we go to Performance, our memory, and there it is, speed 3600 megahertz. You could also see the usage of your CPU and GPU. All right guys, now our graphics card drivers. So we're gonna wanna go over to the GeForce experience. I'll link this in the video description, and we're gonna click download now. Figurine install. We're then gonna head over to drivers and download the newest one, which appears right at the top, download. Express installation, yes. All right, that's good to go. I'll restart later. Time to install our games now. We're going to be using Steam as the example. All right, we're in. And first game we're going to be installing is Siege. Install. As soon as it's done, you restart your system because we installed drivers and we're ready to go. Let's frag it up. Whoa. Wait a second. I forgot. Watch this. See that right there? We gotta install our lighting program so we can then customize the little thingy majingy in the middle right there. Okay guys, so in order to customize our AIO, as in add a custom little GIF in the middle of it, or whatever you want to do, and also to change the lights of the RAM, you need to install two programs. So first, our NZXT Cam program, and then our CORSAIR IQ program. And here they are, we've installed them. So first, let's go over to our CORSAIR program, and we're gonna change the color of our RAM sticks, lighting effects, change this to static. Boom. We're gonna go with red. We'll leave it at that for now. Now in our NZXT Cam program, we're gonna go over to lighting, and for our Kraken, we're gonna select GIF. And as you can see, it's already changed. And then to change it to a custom GIF, we're gonna click right here, and we have to upload a GIF. All right guys, so I downloaded some GIGABYTE GIFs. Check it out. So here's one of them. This one right here, this one's crazy. One's might be a little too much for some of you guys. This one right here is a little more zoomed out from this one. I'm gonna go with this one though. This one's really chill. And there's our finished product, guys. All right, let's frag it up. All right guys, moving on to COD, we're gonna play some free-for-all. These are the settings we're rocking. We have Nvidia Reflex on Enable plus Boost, and the rest of our settings are right here. All right, let's get this easy W. First free-for-all of Modern Warfare in months, no biggie.
Let's do this.
Double. Great way to start off the match. Wow, this gun kills super quick.
I already have 3 kills and it just started.
Hey, relax, language.
Come on.
Ooh, double. Oh no, we're on fire. Oh my god.
Can you do a jump shot with a sniper weapon?
Hey, your language is not appropriate, okay? Stop it.
I don't know. My language is covered by the Constitution on free speech. Shut up.
Oh, you got me there.
Okay, I'll try to calm down for you. But it's true. Oh, I thought you were dead.
Nah, man.
Those are headshots I gave you.
I don't know, man. They went over my head or something.
Well, we know your aim is terrible, but you got the win. No aimbot on you. No aimbot on you, bro.
All right, guys, next game. Settings we're using for Apex Legends. Our FOV is at 100. Nvidia Reflex is on enabled plus boost. And here are the rest of our settings.
Crispy, yeah, that boy breast me. Head to toe, I'm gleaming, yeah, I know they can't miss me. See your boy a mile away, my kicks is really hesitant. Looking like that meme, then them boys really spitting. I just put an ISO logo on a damn sweater vest. I got little money, watching power, give us our respect. Damn, I be so fresh, and them boys be so clean too. Had them looking mad hard, damn, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, good
Fresh
job,
Air
guys.
Force Ones, then them things crispy. 2-piece, got them all jelly, get a biscuit. Going hard in the paint, I'm feeling like no whiskey. Ball out on them if I really wanna do it. Spot up or dribble, shooting, drip on point, peep the execution on a higher resolution. Now you gotta see.
Got him.
Had to run the campaign. Now we pull this shit.
One more. Woo, that was close. We're gonna play some Crysis 3 now. Running the game at the high settings and FXAA. Let's do it.
Okay, Romeo 1, this is Romeo Actual.
Roger that.
Serenade time. Lights out, buddies. All right, let's get closer and get those headshots. We're gonna go invisible. Stealth kill. All right, he dead. Oh. Ooh, we could detach this bad boy. Let's go. What's up, punk?
Romeo 1, we've gained a 60-minute window with the primary target. You have multiple cell units moving on your position. Do not jeopardize the goddamn mission now.
Oh my goodness. For Valorant, we have Nvidia Reflex on plus boost and our graphics quality right here. Here we go.
You guys ready to win this?
I guess.
No, I guess. You will.
All right, I'm back.
One enemy remaining.
Nice!
Spike down. One enemy remaining.
2.
What it do, baby?
One enemy remaining.
Nice. Yeah, boy.
You are better.
The team diff, though. Alright, let's see if we can keep this up with the on attacker side.
Let's just do a full B rush.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am.
Nice. Ah,
Man, oh snap. Oh, what happened? They started off doing pretty decent. We were getting wrecked in the beginning. How the tides turn. Moving on to Siege, guys. Crystal Guard just dropped. Settings we're running the game on. Here is our display settings. FOV's at 90 and our graphics settings. We will go ahead and turn on Reflex Low Latency to on plus boost. Apply. I'm ready. guys, where's the energy? Oh my god, I love the enthusiasm.
Oh, last one charge on bomb chest. Y'all gotta kill him.
Good job, guys. Nice.
Last one drop down. He's going safe.
Good job. Alright, man, what did we do differently that time? What did you guys do? Did you guys just rush harder?
I guess we just killed him.
Oh, okay. Alright, that room's clear. We could go in there and plant. Fuck! Bro, good try. Someone ran through the trap. I'm like, okay, it's done. And then I ran through and it wasn't done.
Right after. You have to wait a little.
Oh. Hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah.
I've got you in my sights.
That was my fault. Good job, guys. How's Cav? Good job. Nice job, guys. Alright guys, so that's a wrap. I had a lot of fun making this video with the team. Thanks for watching the video till the end. I appreciate all your guys' support. Also stay tuned for different projects upcoming here on the channel. And as far as the gameplay channel, it's a thing now. It's linked in the video description. Go check it out, guys. Yeah, that's it.